Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to everyone. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kello Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. I've got to say a special thank you to Robert. This arrived I came in, checked my mail in the morning when I come into work, and this must have arrived Friday. And take a look at this. Bunker Brigade Commander. Like, there's only one person who would have done this, Robert. Robert has to be responsible for this. And Robert's like, how did you know it was me? Robert, there was nothing on the package whatsoever that gave any indication as to who it was from. No message inside. Actually, and as I opened it, I thought, I'm not opening a package of arsenic, am I? Robert, thank you. That was incredibly kind. I'm not looking for gifts from anybody. I'm not asking you to send me anything. I just thought it was very, very nice that Robert did. So I want to give him a special salute just for Robert. And let's turn our attention to the news. You've got the LA Sheriff's Department in a post that they put out. Okay. Our hearts go out to the victims and families impacted by the recent bombings in Iran. While this tragic event occurred overseas, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is closely monitoring the situation. Oh, please. So our hearts go out to the victims. Now you're talking about what happened in Iran. The bombings that we saw in Iran over the weekend. That's what they're referring to. And now the department has come out and saying, wait a minute, check that. The LA County Sheriff's Department now apologizing after they sent condolences to Iran. And they said, we are issuing this statement to formally apologize for an offensive and inappropriate social media post recently posted on our department's social media platforms regarding the ongoing conflict in Iran. This post was unacceptable, made in error, and does not reflect the views of Sheriff Robert G. Luna or the department. And they said they don't issue comments on military or foreign policy issues. Well, apparently they do. Somebody did. I appreciate their apology, but oh no, we don't issue. So then why did somebody do that? To me, you almost have to follow that up with a termination. Seriously, somebody's got to be terminated. Don't they? I mean, if department policy is you don't do this and somebody does that, what happens at your place of work? I would tell you what happens at my place of work. It would not be in benefit of the employee in a case like that, nor should it be. I mean, that is just absolute. There's craziness everywhere you look. Okay, Morning Joe. What happened with MSNBC's Joe Scarborough? Comments that he made this morning. He defended Donald Trump's strikes on Iran. And he went on. I want to give you the full comment here. He said that he's not championing either side. Well, of course you're not, Joe, because you're a loon. You have no spine. So we know that. But Scarborough says, I find it hard to believe that Bush 41, Bush 43, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, go down the list. Any president wouldn't have felt compelled to take that strike. In other words, every other president would have done it. Every other president would have done it. And Joe Scarborough recognizes that. What would Monday look like if he hadn't moved? If Iran was already at 60% enrichment of uranium and has the ability to create nuclear weapons in a short matter of time, right? Yeah. What would that have looked like? So Scarborough is right, and I think he doesn't want to be right, but and most of the time he has not been, but it's just incredible. That's why my show was such a great alternative to MSNBC and all of the other stuff that's going on. Interesting piece at PJ Media by Victoria Taft. Guess who learned a lesson from that Signalgate scandal? It wasn't the Democrats. Yeah, Pete Hegseth. Because nobody knew about this. Nobody knew about, there was no Signalgate scandal and messages that went out that were intercepted by the media. No. Complete surprise. And Victoria Taft goes on to say that you get a lot of people who have been really steamed over this. Senate Democrats wrote a strongly worded letter to President Trump about Signalgate, so on. But yeah, nobody knew about this. That's the way it should be. Because we're talking about national intelligence and these kinds, especially an operation like this one, just really huge. I got an email from a buddy of mine who said, weighing I don't know whether this was the right thing to do or the wrong. I'm not commenting on that, but he says, I'm so proud of our military. And I'm like, booyah. That's it. Absolutely. Bingo. Proud of the military. And that's how I felt as I watched Pete Hegseth and the general. Forgive me. Unless I've got his name right in front of me, I don't recall. But the general that did the news briefing yesterday, and I watched a lot of that. Honestly, it was pretty fascinating stuff. And this, 34-hour flight that you got this bomber from Missouri that participated. They're the ones who were responsible. Launched from Missouri, 34-hour flight there and back, landing safely. Never challenged the entire time. It's just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible story. There was a piece that caught my attention, front page of the New York Post. You can see it there. Dramatic footage showing Israel striking Iran's most notorious prison, blowing the doors right off the hinges. And you can see the explosion taking place there. There's really nothing else. A lot of this I've already talked about on the radio show this morning. Miranda Devine's got a piece, and I shared just a portion of this. She's saying that the president's strike against Iran could carve his place in history as the most courageous leader since Ronald Reagan. I think Trump's courage has been incredible. Iran's threatening the United States. Yeah, the LA Sheriff's Department. What is going on? Some people are just so lost. Oh, and look at this. You can see the images here. So a staffer of the Pacers, it's a tense moment with ESPN crew. You got a player here. They just lost the NBA Finals. So, of course, how would you feel about that? You'd be distraught, man. You would be absolutely distraught. He's in tears, and here's the media. Oh, man, give me a break. So, of course, she's trying to shoo the media away, which would be the human thing to do, I think. Now, as we talk about the president and this strike, Operation Midnight Hammer, many Democrats were quick to call the strike unconstitutional. Other Democrats were saying nonsense. And forgive me, what's her first? This is former Democratic Party advisor Dan Turrentine. So Turrentine worked under Hillary Clinton. And he said, it was too depressing to write this last night after we got off the air, so I went to bed, but it needs to be said by more Democrats. This was not an impeachable offense, and Trump did not need congressional approval for one precision attack under the circumstances. And then he goes on to say, just as Obama didn't need it when he had carried out precision attacks. Turrentine is absolutely right. So it needs to be said by more. There are a lot of things that need to be said by more Democrats. Democrats have got to stop the crazy as a party. So that caught my eye. Now, as we're talking about those in the Democrat Party who at least have some shred of common sense, John Fetterman comes to mind. So, and look at the headline, the Irish Star. John Fetterman teases a party change again with his latest pro-Trump move. No, he didn't. I saw his comments. I'm going to show them to you. All he's saying is the strike on Iran was a correct move. Oh, he's teasing a move to the Republican Party. Fetterman, how many times has Fetterman said very, very clearly he's not interested in becoming a Republican? Man, the Democrats just can't stand it. And when somebody disagrees with them, somebody in the party's got a different point of view. I mean, they just come absolutely unhinged. And that is just so crazy to me. So Fetterman was out there saying the strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, he said, as I've long maintained, this was the correct move. Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism and cannot have nuclear capabilities. I'm grateful for and salute the finest military in the world. Let me ask you a question. Why aren't we hearing that from the rest of the Democrats? Why aren't we hearing their pride and, the precision of the U.S. military? Where is that? With the exception of John Fetterman, maybe a few others. You hear that? See, if I were a Democrat, I just couldn't. And I was a Democrat for a long time. Grew up a Democrat household. And honestly, it really wasn't till after I started having children that I started looking at things differently, started re-examining my own beliefs. I'm just amazed that more people do not speak up, that they don't look at that and go, wow, the times we live in, man, I never would have foreseen this kind of craziness. All right, now Simone Biles deleted her ex account after this feud with Riley Gaines. This is coming from Outkick here. She had 1.9 million followers on X, deleted her account after that online feud with Riley Gaines. One saying, not sure Simone Biles will ever quite recover the general goodwill so many had for her. And something went wrong. No account. The account's gone. So the error message for Simone Biles, prompting widespread speculation, but it happened shortly after Simone Biles and Riley Gaines, exchanged. Simone Biles thought it would be a good idea to be critical of Riley Gaines, and that was just an incredible misstep. I thought that was absolutely a huge misstep, and I can't say that I was all that surprised. Okay, there was only one other thing that I want to share with you this morning, and it's a cartoon. This is, I follow the page of Aya Branco, the mother of all mic drops. Yeah, that's the Moab. The missiles, the bunker busters that they dropped on Iran. And I thought you might appreciate that. Branco does a lot of great work. In fact, I follow his page on Facebook, and that's where I'm pulling that up from. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So you have made it to the end of the video. You are part of my gallery of champions. I thank you so much. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade. Those of you who are here each and every day, you're commenting, you're engaging, and I really appreciate that. Please make sure that you take time to peruse the comments that folks are leaving, respond to those. I love hearing various points of view. So we'll leave it there for today. Until tomorrow, my friend. Underground and gone.